Imagine this. Every morning you step outside, leave a handful of seeds on a table or a few crumbs on the ground, and go back inside. At first, nothing happens. The seeds just sit there, alone. Nobody comes. But then one day, a small bird appears. It lands about 10 feet from the table, doesn't come closer, just looks, weighs things up, and flies away. The next day it's back, staying a little longer. By the third day, it eats. What you don't know is that moment changed everything, not just for that bird, but for you too. And nobody warned you. This is bird science. Most people think feeding birds is a simple act. You put out food, they eat it. End of story. But science tells a very different tale. When you feed the birds in your yard consistently, you set off a chain of events that completely transforms your garden, in stages, each one more surprising than the last. The first stage is the slowest and the most important. During those first few days, the bird that discovered your food isn't just coming to eat, it's coming to study you. It observes what time you come outside, how long you stay, whether you move quickly or slowly, whether you make noise. It's building a profile on you, and while it eats, it's taking mental notes. But here's the fascinating part. That bird doesn't keep the information to itself. Researchers have documented that when a bird finds a reliable food source, it changes its flight behavior. It starts taking different routes, spends more time in the area, and produces specific calls that other birds of the same species recognize. It's not a shout of food over here. It's subtler than that. It's a shift in activity pattern that others read as a signal. Something good is in that direction. And so the second stage begins. Sometime between the first and second week, you'll notice something. It's not just one bird anymore. 2 come, then 3, then 5. And they're not all the same. Different species start arriving. There's a precise scientific explanation for this. It's called interspecific facilitation. When one species feeds calmly in a place, other species interpret that as a safety signal. If that sparrow is eating there without anything happening to it, then I can too. It's like walking past a restaurant. If it's empty, you hesitate. But if you see people eating inside, you feel safe going in. Birds do exactly the same thing, and the effect multiplies. Every new species that arrives draws another. Your little table of seeds becomes a gathering point, a social hub for the neighborhood's birds. But what happens after the second week is what nobody tells you. Stage 3, your garden starts to change. Not metaphorically, physically. The birds that come to eat don't just eat. While they're in your yard, they hunt insects. A lot of insects. A single blue tit can eat between 600 and 1,000 insects in a single day. Spiders, caterpillars, aphids, mosquitoes. Your garden becomes a natural pest control zone. No pesticides, no chemicals, just birds doing what they do best. But there's more. Birds pollinate. Hummingbirds move pollen from flower to flower while searching for nectar near your feeder. Sparrows and finches scatter seeds throughout your garden. The natural way. Native plant seeds you never put there start to sprout. After a month of feeding birds, your garden has more flowers, fewer pests, and more life than before. And you didn't do anything except leave food on a table. Stage 4 is the most extraordinary of all, and it has everything to do with you. After several weeks of routine, the birds don't just tolerate you anymore. They recognize you. They've decided you're safe. You'll start to notice things you didn't see before. A bird that doesn't fly away when you step outside. One that comes within 3 feet of where you're sitting. Another that sings specifically when it sees you appear in the doorway. This is not your imagination. It's science. A study conducted in the UK showed that European robins can associate individual people with the provision of food in under 2 weeks. They don't recognize humans in general. They recognize you, and they adjust their behavior exclusively when you appear. But what comes next is what transforms the whole experience. Stage 5. The connection. People who feed birds consistently report something science is only beginning to measure. A feeling of calm, of purpose, of connection to something larger than themselves. And it's not just subjective. Researchers at the University of Exeter found that people living in areas with higher bird presence have significantly lower levels of anxiety and depression. It didn't matter what their income was, their age, or where they lived. More birds, less stress. And here's the part nobody mentions. When you feed birds every day, you don't just change your garden, you change your routine. You go outside at the same time, you sit in the same spot, you watch in silence, you breathe, You put the phone down even for just 5 minutes. That daily ritual, that quiet pause, is as powerful for you as the food is for them. You're not just feeding them, they're healing you. But there's something you need to know, something that can unravel everything if you're not careful. When you start feeding birds, you create a dependency. They reorganize their routes, their schedules, and their territories around your food. If one day you simply stop without warning, they'll keep coming back. They'll wait. And when they find nothing, they'll burn through energy they need to survive. This doesn't mean you shouldn't feed them. It means you should do it with care. If you start, be consistent. If you need to stop, do it gradually. Reduce the amount over several days so the birds can adjust. What you put out matters too. Sunflower seeds, excellent. Millet works for many species. Cut fruit attracts different birds altogether. But white bread has no nutritional value for them, and spoiled food can make them sick. If you're going to do this, do it properly. Because once you begin, it's not just your garden anymore, it's theirs too. So, what happens when you feed the birds in your yard every single day? First one comes, then many. Your garden fills with life. Pests disappear. New flowers grow. The birds recognize you, greet you when you step outside, and you, without even realizing it, start to feel better. All of that from a handful of seeds on a table. Next time you step outside, leave something. Anything. Seeds, fruit, clean water, and wait. Maybe nothing happens the first day or the second, but on the third day, someone will arrive. They'll look at you, weigh things up, and if they decide it's safe, they'll stay, and they'll bring friends. If you want to know which foods work best for specific birds and what to look for in a feeder, we'll cover that in the next video. Subscribe to Bird Science, leave a like if this inspired you to give it a try, and let me know in the comments. Do you already feed the birds in your yard? Which species visit you? Because if you haven't started yet, after watching this, you just might.